of those 15 rebounds, 7 were offensive rebounds, and that helped them get back in the game as well.
Those 9 turnovers really the only thing maybe that sees Tennessee State in the game. And there's been there's Calvin Talford's mom, I guess, and he had foul trouble. He's picked up his 3rd and wasn't able to play much of the first half because of it. Well, look at the difference on the year. Of course, you got a second half to play. It's been a terrific night for Kelly Sutton. He's scored 16 to lead the way for Tennessee Chattanooga. His career high is 21, so he could really bring his team to a different level. And you see Sutton Dennis with the 8, and he's got the ball right now. He needs to get hot. English has been called. He's their top scorer. He's been called all night. Dennis scores the first 2 of the second half and immediately makes it a 3-point game.
Well, number 11's a lucky number tonight, Dave. That's 10 points for Greg Dennis. And, of course, Kelly Sutton already has 16, and he's number 11 for the Moccasins.
Sutton hurt an ankle. We'll see how he is. He is in. Here's Brooks, who didn't play that much in the first half, surprisingly. They go right into Nelson, and you see him back off Dennis and make the great play. He's got 11, and that was terrific. Story will take the 3, not known to be a shooter, and he missed it. Look at Brooks get the rebound. And Chattanooga takes their time. Nelson and Dennis block that one. Nelson again, and he's got 4 in a row.
Well, Nelson's got a lot of room to operate down there all of a sudden. That wasn't true in the first half. East Tennessee State did a great job of helping out, and somehow he's isolated down there right now, and the pass is still being thrown in basically from the wing. There should be help down there for him.
Spreading the perimeter just a little bit and making it easier. Here's Dennis, and he'll take the deuce, and he got it. So it's a battle between Dennis and Nelson, both the inside players having their way. The long one from Brooks wouldn't go. And English with a big rebound there, and he's been quiet on the boards too. He's their top rebounder and scorer. They let Niblett alone. And the rebound to Story, keeping it alive. Talford, here's the 3. Yes!
And of course, those 3-pointers can add up very quickly.
2-point game. No look pass. Nelson. It's a charge.
Well, Greg Dennis did all he could. Nelson had the ball in great offensive position. The only play he could make was this play. And again, he's not getting much help down there. Give the Moccasins credit for creating the isolations there. Nice pass by Redden. Good job by Dennis. Did a little acting probably to ensure the call.
I think he did, yeah. Part of the game. For a big guy, he's got it all. Inside English, and we are tied.
And who made the pass? Greg Dennis, number 11.
That's a 7-0 run for the Buccaneers. And Mac McCarthy can't afford a timeout early. He used one. Sutton called it early in the first half, actually late when a TV timeout was coming, so he really cashed one in. He shouldn't have. Nelson continues to operate. And Talford comes to life on the bench. And before he traveled, he got rid of the ball.
A lot more help down there on Nelson that possession. Marty Story was helping out.
Talford knocked away, and he draws the foul. It's on Sutton, his 3rd.
Well, this is what Talford does so well. Drives the ball to the basket and gets to the free throw line. And again, once he gets there, he shoots well over 85%. When you can shoot the 3-pointer and pull defenses to you like he can, and also have that slashing ability to the basket, you're awfully tough to defend.
So Sutton and Talford have taken each other to task, and they both have 3. Talford misses his first free throw tonight. 8 in the game. He's 3 out of 4 from the line. And Alan LaForce has never lost a Southern Conference tournament game. And he's looking at his senior to give him the lead, and he did it.
I remember Calvin Talford from high school. He was a great athlete, a 3-sport athlete in high school, and has had a marvelous career. He's the 3rd leading scorer in East Tennessee State history.
Mr. Jennings, number 2 now, and there's the reach-in foul. It's on Story.
Now, this is very unusual. You've got 2 of the top 3 career scorers on the floor right now. We have Greg Dennis, who's the leading career scorer. Of course, Mr. Jennings, the 2nd And now Calvin Talford is number 3 on that list.
And you know, it's funny because Tom Chilton held the scoring record for about 30 years, and suddenly this team has just knocked him off. Boom, boom, boom. High in the air. No, Talford got it, though. 8-0 run. Here's the alley-oop. Good defense by Woods, and everybody hits the floor. The travel goes against the Moccasins. And poor Brooks, he gave up his body, I think his wrist, too.
Yeah, that's great hustle, and it amounts to a turnover. That's tough luck.
Tuesday, don't forget, more championship week, the Patriot League Championship from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, then the Mid-Continent Conference Championship. That'll come to you from Cleveland, Ohio. Dennis draws the foul. It's on Nelson, and that's his third.
Well, Nelson did a good job defensively of holding position. At the last minute when Dennis went up, he reached in, used his hands, and fouled. Good job of moving his feet up until the very last second.
The complexion of this game has completely changed in the second half. East Tennessee in the midst of this 8-0 run, and they were in foul trouble. Pelfrey had 3, Telford had 3 in the first half. Suddenly Sutton's got 3 and Nelson's got 3. Neither of those can be lost to this ball club. Dennis for 3, short. English working the boards and straight back up.
English probably got away with a little bit of a push off there, but he does such a good job of elevating.
3-point lead and a 10-0 run now. Sutton will try to answer. He's been the problem solver the whole game.
When Sutton had the basketball that time, East Tennessee players all paid attention to him and where he was.
Brooks couldn't get open, but Sutton does. And yes, what a play. It's a 2. That'll end that run. He's got 18 now on the night. 1-point lead for East Tennessee. Nice pass inside. Story battling, no, but the foul is drawn.
And Nelson's coming out of there like it's maybe on him, and if that's true, that's going to be his 4th.
It's not. It's on Bart Redden. Fortunately for that man, Mac McCarthy and his team, but he finds himself now down by 1.
He was shut out early in the game and really wasn't on the offensive boards either, all of a sudden doing a little bit of everything.
There you look at the difference. And that's good hustle, and Woods comes away with the ball to Brooks. 1-point game, and the Moccasins will try to recapture the lead. Woods over English, yes. Woods with 4 in the game. We've mentioned that Rodney English only 4 points in the game, but LeVert Threets, and we featured him in the open, he has been held scoreless in this game. Where has he been? Alford, yes!
Give both coaches credit for trying to take away the other team's strength, and that's what you want to do defensively. You want to try to take away what the other team does best, and LeVert Threets shut out. Rodney English was shut out for a while for East Tennessee State.
Well, 9 in the game for Talford, or rather 14-9 in this half for Talford. 14:40 left in the game, and it's East Tennessee by the deuce. That is Southern Conference. But you're used to this stuff. This tournament's the oldest, I think, in the country, isn't it, Terry?
They've been deciding their champions since 1921 with this Southern Conference tournament. And most people don't realize this is the mother of the Southeastern Conference. 1932, the Southeastern split off, and in 1953, the ACC split off. So it's the mother of both of those very powerful conferences.
Very deep roots, and they were playing tournaments before the NCAA even began their shindig.
That's exactly right.
Well, a substitution for Redden, and Sneed will leave the game. Nelson's back in. Threets, Sutton, Woods out there for Tennessee Chattanooga, with Brooks who will inbound the ball.
Tennessee Chattanooga's gotten good play off the bench. I like David Woods. He's done a nice job.
Sutton couldn't get it to go. Nelson just lost the ball on the way to a jam, and Talford winds up in the 3rd row. They are hustling everywhere. You can tell that this is a championship game. The effort has been there the whole time, even when they were 1 for 9 and 1 for 7 respectively in the first 5 minutes. There was perspiration on the floor just about everywhere you looked.
Well, again, neither team allowed the other team to get to the basket with anything. They just said, you're not coming into the paint area.
Dennis, who's been in the paint area quite a bit in the second half, leaves with 12. Little lineup in here now with 3 guards in essence for East Tennessee. Story knocks it away. It'll belong to the Moccasins.
Now notice what a crowd Kelly Sutton's drawing every time he has the basketball now. East Tennessee State is very aware of the game that he's having.
Substitution into the Buccaneer lineup, number 30.
Another substitution for East Tennessee. Pelfrey's in, and Talford will take a rest. So Story, Pelfrey, Silvers, you've got a bunch of substitutes in there now, along with Palmer, the backup point guard, and English, your mainstay. He remains in the game. Threets, we mentioned he's been quiet. He wants to force something, and finally on the scoreboard, averaging 17 a game in his first deuce, and he ties the contest up.
And he's known as a three-point shooter, but that time, what a move to the basket. Very strong.
English, the tough play, yes, and we're starting to see the athletic ability now of certain players take over.
And again, they can't get Rodney English the ball coming to it. Now what they're doing is taking advantage of the defense waiting on him and going over the top to it.
Story is on Sutton. That's the defense on the offensive star in the game. 13 and a half left to go. 47-45. East Tennessee, a little tangle in the lane. And Silver, I think, got caught up with Nelson. You got to stop him some way. That's the second on Trezell Silvers. And Alan LaForce, happy with the way his team has played in the second half, you can be sure.
Well, that was a good substitution he made to get Calvin Talford out of the game and get him a little bit of a blow. He doesn't want him to pick up what we call a fatigue foul.
Story bang bodies with Sutton. Fans don't like the call, but it'll hold, and that's the senior's second. Looks like a linebacker, doesn't he? 6'3", 195-pounder from Greenville, Tennessee. He's the only starter amongst the 10 here in 2 Tennessee schools that are from that state. Pelfrey the block. The little guy gives it a Palmer to Story, and there is a foul on Palmer. You see Story with that circus shot?
That was a great move, but a good block, too.
See Chattanooga's undoing maybe those 11. What do you figure? Is that a point and a half per turnover, the difference?
I'd say at least that, because it's 2 points that you don't have a chance to get, as well as 2 points that the other team quite often gets if you give them the basketball in a good offensive position.
Sutton with the nifty move. No, English another rebound. That's the difference between him this half and last. He's really hit the boards hard. Nothing for Palmer. He really loses the height there. They list him at 5'6". That's probably about right. Nick Brooks, who's 6 feet tall, looked like a giant. Nice move. Silvers, no, but Nelson couldn't hold on. It should belong to East Tennessee.
I think Trezell Silvers surprised them with that move. They're not used to seeing him out there moving with the basketball.
At number 42, Ed Sneed.
Some more substitutions. Sneed, who's played so well, is in. And there you see the breather for Sutton and for Woods. Dennis back in the game now, too, and Silvers, who's played hard, will catch some air.
Both these coaches are doing an excellent job of moving their lineups around. Calvin Talford back in the game right now, in for Story. So they're trying to keep fresh players on the court, and that's a good move when you're playing your 3rd game in 3 days.
And Alan LaForce brings in some more offense, too. Talford finds the man. It's Dennis. Blocked beautifully by Sneed, and an offensive foul called on the big guy, Dennis. That's only his second.
Well, Keith Nelson returns the favor here. He holds position just as Dennis did on him earlier in the half. He made it look like he was going to go up for the block. Had he left the floor, it would have been a foul on Nelson. He stays on the floor, draws the charge.
Well, we talked about those turnovers. Look at the difference. You were right. It is more than a point and a half.
Well, even when Chattanooga has gotten turnovers, as they did early in the game, they weren't able to take advantage of it.
That foul is on English. That's the 3rd on English. The 5th team foul now on East Tennessee.
Well, that's 3 East Tennessee State players with 3 fouls: Pelfrey, Talford, and English.
2 by the Moccasins, and they're important ones, Nelson and Sutton. Sutton not in the game at the moment.